All right, so news just broke that Marcell Ozuna signed with the Atlanta Braves on a deal. We got Nolan Arenado, who's basically said he's done with Colorado. He wants out. He wants to be traded. And then we also have some small minor league, or I guess a non-roster invite for King Felix. So we're going to talk about all those deals. If you guys enjoyed these videos, make sure you hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy baseball content. And in the comment section down below, let me know your thoughts about the deals that we talk about today. Let's start with the small one. King Felix going to the Braves on a non-roster invite. Basically, if he does well, he'll be part of the roster. If not, you know, the Braves don't really lose anything. I think it's a great shot for King Felix to come back and show that he's still got something left in the tank. I think the Braves still need a little bit of pitching help. They've got some really good young pitchers coming up through the system. I think King Felix could definitely help with those guys. I also think that he could be a good little bullpen option, but I'm not really sure if he really want to be that. But I think it's not really a bad idea. He's not like the craziest of pitchers nowadays. Obviously, he's kind of past it. I still think he's got a little bit left in him, but we'll have to wait and see how things go during spring training, possibly at the beginning of the year. But it's really nothing crazy. I don't think it's that bad of a deal for the Braves. I think it's good for both sides. I think it's a good chance for King Felix to earn a spot, and I also think if it works out, it's a really good move for the Braves, especially on, I think it's like $1 million if he makes the roster. I don't think it's that big of a deal at all. So both sides, pretty good business for them. So now let's talk about this Marcell Ozuna deal. 1 year, $18 million for the left fielder. So when you look at Ozuna for the last couple seasons, he's actually kind of fallen a bit. Obviously he's had a couple injuries here and there, but when you look at 2018, you're looking at 280 with a 758 OPS. You know, the numbers are pretty decent. And then 2019, he kind of fell off a little bit, even though the OPS did go up. So we know with Marcell Ozuna, you look at like his career as a whole, he's a good hitter. He definitely has pop off the bat. He has that ability to give you a good bat in the lineup. There are some questions about him defensively in the field. You know, there was that huge meme with him like just completely misjudging a ball in left. I forgot who it was against, but he like climbed the wall even though it wasn't even near the wall. So questions about him defensively. He may not be the best fielder. There were some rumors that he would go to the AL to be more of a DH rather than an outfielder, but I still think he's got it. I still think he's a really good bat for the lineup. I think he's a really good player to have in your team. Another, you know, decent deal. 1 year, $18 million for the Braves. I think this is a good move. You now have another outfielder, because when you look at the Braves outfield, you have Inciarte, Markakis, Austin Riley still kind of a question mark. Are they going to move him to third? Are they going to go with Camargo at third? I've already said Markakis. I've said Inciarte. Now you have Acuna as well. Are you going to stick him in left? Are you going to stick him in center? Is he going to be right field? I know there's been talks of him moving there. So there's a lot of different possibilities now that you can go with this team. You keep Acuna in center, then you kind of platoon in Inciarte and Markakis in right, keep Ozuna in left. I really like this move, and I like it because it adds a lot of flexibility to the outfield, you know, set. You know, Acuna is obviously a mainstay, but now you have a little bit of depth with Markakis, Inciarte, and Ozuna. It looks like it's going to be Acuna and Ozuna for sure in that one of those two spots. And then now you just got to figure out who the other outfielder is going to be. So I like this move. 1 year, $18 million. It gives him a shot to show that he's a better hitter than a 240 hitter with an 800 OPS. Like I said, he's proven he can hit the ball. Had a couple down seasons, just really hasn't lived up to the hype, but I definitely think he's still got it in his tank. He's only going to be 29, so he's still, you know, got plenty of years ahead of him where he can prove, and he's got that ability to play. So I like this move. I think it gives the Braves an even scarier offensive weapon. I still think some of the pitching is, you know, in question. I do think they've improved this year for sure, and I like this move. I mean, this is a really good move. I'm surprised it took this long for a team to offer him something that he liked. Maybe he was just looking for a 1 year deal, and teams were trying to get him on, you know, 2, 3, 4 year deals, lock him up for a long time. But, you know, maybe that's what he really just wanted, was a 1 year deal to prove that he still got it, and then he can secure the bag for like the end of his career, you know, in his 30-year season. So again, 240, obviously a pretty rough year last year, but I definitely think he can come back if he can stay healthy and prove that he still got it. You know, The Braves, they're looking really good offensively. I think they're really sound. Losing Josh Donaldson, yeah, it hurts. But you just signed a guy who definitely has that same potential in hitting home runs, bringing that power. May not be the same kind of defensive player, obviously different positions as well, but I like this move for Ozuna, and I think the Braves are heading in the right direction. I still think they need a couple more pieces for pitching, but overall, good move for the Braves. All right, so this one's kind of the one that's really boggling my mind right now, and this is the whole drama with Nolan Arenado and that he wants out of Colorado. Like, he seems like, I know he's got a no trade clause in his contract, and there's also the option to opt out at 2021, and it looks like if the Rockies try to hold on to him, he's gone during that 2021 season. So let's kind of backtrack and see where this kind of all started, because there were the rumors that the Rockies were looking to trade Arenado if they got something that really lived up to the expectations or lived up to what they wanted, and they really didn't seem to get that. So then you have the GM Britick, whatever it is. He goes and says this, I think it was yesterday or last night. All right, so he goes and says, with the season coming up and spring training on the horizon, we're going to start focusing on that. We've listened to teams regarding Nolan and really nothing has come of it. Basically, he says we're putting the trade talks on hold. We want Nolan to be our third baseman going forward, and that's about it. Like, that's it. We're not making a trade. Things are done. It's time to focus on the season, which makes sense. You obviously want, everyone focused on the year. Okay, yeah, you had your trade talks. Things were, didn't pan out, but now it's time to focus on the year. It makes sense, right? That's what you want as a GM. You want everybody fully in on it. You want the season to do well. And it's like, okay, let's put the trade talks on hold. Let's focus on the year. So it seems like Nolan is like, okay, you know what? I didn't have a problem with them throwing me, out there in trade talks, see if they could get me traded. But there's some behind the scenes stuff that he wasn't happy with, and he kind of came out and said something like this. So he said, I really don't care what's being said. I just know that I feel disrespected over here. There's a lot of disrespect from people there that I don't want to be a part of. So it seems like there's some kind of behind the scenes stuff that's going on that obviously we don't know about. He went on to say he didn't want to go into detail about what was being said or the disrespect or just details in general. But it seems like Nolan's just really unhappy with the way that things are being run or things are working out with the Rockies. And it kind of makes sense. When you sign a player who's one of the best in the league to a massive contract, there's going to be promises to that player that most of the time it's going to be, we want to build this team around you. We want to make a better team and we want to win. Obviously, winning is the most important part. You want to win games and you want to win championships, so on and so forth. And it seems like there's some stuff that's just not being brought to light that we don't know about. And it also seems like Nolan's just had enough, and he feels like the Rockies aren't being run right, and they're going in a downward trend rather than an upward trend. And it makes sense when you look at the Rockies roster. There's not a lot to get too excited about. Yes, you have Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado, two of the best players in baseball. David Dahl's coming off a massive ankle injury, I believe it was. So he played about 2/3 of the season. He looked promising. He looks very promising. You have Charlie Blackmon, who's really not going to get much better. He's just not going to be, Charlie Blackmon in his prime anymore. He's kind of on a downward trend. So pitching's a big issue. You don't really have too much to look at for starters. You got John Gray, who's been meh. Kyle Freeland had one good year, hasn't really shown he can pitch at an MLB level anymore. Marquez has been okay, but not that great either. So MLB ready pitching, not looking great. Bullpen's a disaster. You got Ian Desmond starting in center, Daniel Murphy at first, McMahon I think at second, and then your catchers Tony Walters. So the lineup doesn't look great. Pitching obviously isn't great either. And you look at Nolan Arenado's stats, and you have to just be like, you need to do so much better with a player of his caliber in that lineup. You gotta spend the money. But when you look at the money that they have spent, you've got a big contract for Daniel Murphy. You got Charlie Blackmon's big contract. I think two of the relievers who are below average are making $9-10 million a year. You've got Ian Desmond, I think he's making around $12 million a year. And it seems like Nolan's had enough. He doesn't feel like they're running the organization the right way, and he doesn't feel like they're going to win. So it looks like his time in Colorado is done. And if you're a Rockies fan, do you feel the same way? Do you just want him out? You know, what's the deal with that? Do you want to keep him? And then at the same time, if you're in the front office of the Rockies, you've just lost a lot of pull for trades now, because he's saying he wants out the door, like he wants to be traded. You know, I feel like you're not going to get as much as you would have hoped for from the beginning now. So now you're in a tricky spot. Do you trade him now before things even get worse? Before he's basically like, I'm not going to suit up for you guys until you trade me. And I think this could get ugly if it's not resolved soon. So do I think Nolan Arenado is going to hold out? No, I don't. But I feel like things could get a little scrappy, a little ugly if it's not solved soon. So you look at Nolan Arenado. Yes, you can talk about the whole Coors effect and whatnot, but he is a top hitter. He is a gold glove, platinum glove, third baseman, whatever you want to call it. Like, he is the top of the top when it comes to third baseman. And if you're any team in the majors, they should be going out and trying to acquire Nolan Arenado. It doesn't matter if you have another top third baseman in the league. You should just try to get Nolan Arenado. That's how good he is. So there's been rumors that the Braves could try to get him. There's been rumors that the Cardinals try to get him. It doesn't really matter who tries to get him. If you're in need of a third baseman, or you even have like a slightly above average third baseman, you should be trying to get Nolan Arenado because he is that good. So I think that's it, guys. We've covered everything. We've covered, you know, King Felix going to the Braves. We've covered Marcell Ozuna going to the Braves, which again, I think is a great move. Very, very solid move. 1 year, $18 million. It works out for Ozuna because he can show that, you know, it's a 1 year prove. I think it's it's a deal for himself to prove that he can still hit at an MLB level. He can still play at an MLB level and a high level that he's capable of doing. And then obviously we've talked about the Nolan Arenado stuff that's happening, where it looks like he's done with Colorado and he wants to leave. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoyed the content. And as always, guys, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of all the stuff that we did today. I don't know why I had my headphones on. I took them off at the beginning of the video, and then I had to stop and come back, and I put them on. I don't know why I did, but I hope you did enjoy it. 2 videos on screen now, my most recent, and also one that YouTube recommends you check out. And that's about it, guys. I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.